tiny she could have stretched her arms and touched the walls to each side at the same time. The ceiling brushed the top of her head. She was overwhelmed by the terrifying closeness of it. She wanted out. She feared the body crumpled at her feet was dead. Richard. He heard a little groan. His arms were behind his back, locked in some kind of wooden binders. She feared he might
Shush.
He spun her out. That had sloshed
Go to
into her
bed
boots
somewhere
and
else.
soaked up through her dress. Richard. She pulled at his shoulder to turn him over. He cried out and shrank away from her hand. When she saw him, she covered her mouth with both. Kneeling once more, she used the cloth to wipe the blood from his face. Richard, can you hear me? It's Nietzsche.
Is he
He
squishing
nodded.
you?
Nietzsche. One eye was swollen shut. His hair was matted with mud and slime from the water he lay in. His clothes were torn open. In the harsh light from the small lamp, she could see puffy red wounds crisscrossing his flesh.
Look at Hanson.
He saw her staring at his wounds.
Hanson midnight.
I'm afraid you'll never be able to patch this shirt. She offered a feeble smile at his green humor. Her fingers trembled as she wiped his face. She didn't know why she would react this way. She had seen worse than this. Richard pulled his head back away from her ministrations. Am I hurting you? Yes. Sorry. I have some water. He poured water into his mouth from the water skin. He drank greedily. While he caught his breath, she said, Camille came up with the money for the fee to get me in to see you. Richard only smiled. Camille wants you out of here. I want me out of here. He didn't sound like himself. His voice was hoarse and almost gone. Richard, the protector, who, the official in
He's
charge of
squishing you.
this prison, he told me that there is a way to get you out. He said you must plead guilty to a civil infraction and pay a fine. Richard was nodding. I figured as much. He asked if I had money. I told him I did. You do? You've saved money? He nodded. I have money. Nietzsche's fingers desperately gathered his
Thank
collar
you.
into her fist. Richard, I can't pay the fine to get you out for 2 more days. Can you hold on? Please, can you hold on until then? He smiled in the dim lamplight. I'm not going anywhere. Nietzsche remembered then and pulled the
I
bread
got
out of the
plenty of
sack.
them.
I brought food. Bread and some roasted chicken. Chicken. Bread won't sustain me long. They don't feed me. She tore at the chicken with her fingers. She held a piece up to his mouth for him. She couldn't stand to see Richard helpless. It angered her.
Thank
Made her
you.
sick.
Thank you.
Eat, Richard, she urged, and his head sank forward. He shook his head, as if to banish
You
sleep.
can tell him thank you.
Here, have some more.
Can't
She watched him
say
chew.
thank you.
Can you sleep in this water? They don't let you sleep.
I'm a cutie pie.
She pushed a long chunk of chicken in his mouth.
I named him
She knew
Tony.
too many of the details of the order's methods.
He's a
She
little.
didn't want to know which
His
technique
name
they
is
had chosen
Tony.
for him. I'll get you out, Richard. Don't give up. I'll get you out. He shrugged as if to say it didn't matter.
Okay.
Why? Covetous of your prisoner? Jealous
my
to see others
goodness.
abuse me in your place? Fear they might destroy me before you can? Richard, that's not. I am just a man. Only the greater good matters. That I'm innocent is immaterial because no one man's life has value. If I must
He's
suffer
gonna get
and die
Tiny's
this way to
tail.
help drive others to the
He's
ways
gonna
of
get
your
Tiny's
creator
tail.
and your order, who
Oh,
are
he's
you to
getting your
deny
tail,
them that
Tiny.
virtuous end?
Oh, he's
What do
getting your
your
tail.
wishes matter? How can you put your life or mine above the good of others?
Yes, I love you too.
How many times had she lectured him with that same moral doctrine? How contemptuous, how venomous, how treacherous it sounded from his lips. She hated herself at that moment.
Get that tail.
He somehow put the lie to everything the order stood for, to everything she had devoted her life to. He somehow made doing good seem evil. That was why he was so dangerous. He even existed threatened everything for which they stood. She was so close to knowing what she needed to understand. The very fact that there were tears running down her face told her that there really was something that
You
made the
can get his
whole ordeal
tail.
worthwhile. made it
Yeah,
essential.
you get that
The
tail.
indefinable spark she
You
had
get
seen
it.
in his eyes
You get
from the
that
first
tail.
instant was
Oh,
real. If she could just
where was you
reach that
getting your
little
tail?
bit more, then she could finally do what was best. It would be better for him. What kind of life could he ever have? How much suffering could he endure? She hated that she was condemned to serving the Creator in such a way. Look around, Nietzsche. You want to show me the better way of the order? Look around, isn't it glorious? She hated to see one of his beautiful eyes swollen shut. Richard, I need the money you saved. If I'm to get you out of here, I'll need it all. The official told me it had to be all of what you had. A horrid whisper was all he
Go
had.
get him. Go beat him up.
It's in our
Yeah,
room.
go get him.
Our room?
Go
Where?
get him.
Tell me where. He shook
Go
his
get
head.
him.
You could never get it out. You have to know the trick to open it. To Ishak. Ishak? At the transport company? Why? It was his parlor once. There's a hidden compartment in the floor. Tell him why you need the money. He will open it for you. She held more chicken up to his mouth. All right, I'll go to Ishak. She hesitated while she watched him chew. I'm sorry that you have to give up what you've managed to save. I know how hard you work. It's not right for them to take it. He shrugged again. Just money. I'd rather live. Nietzsche smiled and wiped the tears from her cheeks. That was the best thing she could have hoped to hear. The door opened.
He's
Pull
Pawpaw
your
the
skirt now,
Blankie.
woman. Time's up.
Hello.
As he dragged her out by her arm,
He's
she
Pawpaw the
stuffed the last of the
Blankie.
chicken in Richard's mouth. Civil infraction, she called to him. Don't forget. He had
He's
to
a happy
confess to a
boy.
civil infraction that could be paid with a fine. Then they would release him. Any other crime was death. I won't forget. She reached back toward him as she was pulled from the tiny cell. I'll be back for you, Richard. I swear. Chapter 56. Nietzsche faced as Ishak bent over the trap door in the corner of the room.
Oh
He had been
yeah,
at it a long time.
Jack.
He had pushed over the side to get at the secret place in the floor.
Hey, my
Occasionally,
Jack.
he muttered under his breath,
Hey, my
cursing
Jack.
himself for having made it so difficult to
Jack,
get it.
Jack.
At last, Ishak scrambled to his feet. Nietzsche hoped that the meager money Richard could have managed to save would be enough to satisfy him.
Yeah?
In her head, she was going through a list of
You
people
gonna tell your
who
brother?
wanted to help Richard. Ishak stood close. Here it
You
is.
gonna tell your brother
He hurriedly
everything?
placed the leather
That didn't
bag in
work.
her hand. The weight shocked her.
Yeah, that
Her
lighting
still
didn't work at all.
palm. It didn't
Yeah,
make
you,
sense.
yeah, you,
She
you
realized
do
Richard
Pawpaw
must
with
have
the
put some
blankie.
metal
You tell
items
your
in with his
brother all
savings.
about it,
That would account
and
for the
Midnight's
weight.
gonna beat me
She
up.
pulled open the top and dumped the contents in her palm. Nietzsche
Arr.
gasped. There were close to 24 gold marks. There wasn't any silver. It was all gold. Dear Creator, she whispered, her eyes wide. Where would Richard get all this money? It was more money than most wealthy men saw in their
You tell me all about it?
She looked up into
You
his
talk?
eyes. Where would
Yeah.
Richard get all this
Yeah, you
money?
talk?
He swept his red hat on his head. He
You
waved
get right in the way?
impatiently at all
Yeah?
the gold
Okay.
lying in her palm. Richard earned it. She felt her frown darkening. Earned it? How? No one man could earn this much money. Not honestly, anyway. She felt her anger
Do
building.
you want me to put you
Richard
some more?
stole
Okay.
this gold, didn't he? Don't
Yeah.
be silly.
So Midnight got your tail?
Richard earned it.
Midnight
He
has
bought
your
and sold
tail?
goods.
No, Midnight's got
She
your
gritted her
brother's
teeth.
tail. Ow!
How did he get this
That was
money?
me, you little
The
fucker.
man flung up his hands. I'm telling you, he
You
earned it
little
himself.
fucker.
All by himself. He bought things and sold them to people who needed them. Things? What kind of things? Contraband? No, things like iron and steel. Nonsense. How would he move it?
Little
Carry it
fucker.
on his back? At
Little
first.
fucker.
But then he bought a wagon to... A wagon, yes, and horses. He bought charcoal and ore and sold
I
it to
love
the
you too.
foundries.
Thank you for giving me a
Mostly he
kiss,
bought
my
metal from
Jack.
the foundry
Thank
and sold it to
you.
the
I love you
blacksmith.
too,
The
handsome
blacksmith
boy.
uses a great deal of metal. He bought it from Richard. That was how he earned the money. Nietzsche seized the man's collar at his throat. Take me to this blacksmith. Nietzsche was furious. All this time, she had thought Richard an honest, hard-working man, and now she had discovered that he was imprisoned properly. He was guilty of swindling honest working people out of their money. He was profiteering. At that moment, she was not sorry at all for what they were doing to him in the prison. He deserved it all and more. He was a criminal, cheating honest, hard-working people out of gold. She burned with humiliation, knowing she had been deceived by him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nietzsche had seen the side of the palace before, but at distance, as she
You
went
talk a
about
lot?
her business in the city.
Jack,
She
Jack.
had never been
Talk a
this
lot?
close. It was going to be everything Jagang said it would be.
Is Jack, Jack gonna
Filled
talk
her
a
with
lot?
awe.
Or is he
All
too
the
tired?
inspiring
Huh?
words of Brother Nara from her youth,
Is he gonna
like
talk?
a sacred choir, singing from the
Yeah.
depths of her memories as she looked upon the
Yeah, you
suite
talk.
of scenes
Yeah.
being erected.
You tell him. Yeah, you
The
tell him.
walls were already up over the
Yeah, you
openings
tell
for the windows on the first floor.
Yeah.
In some sections, beams
You
were
tell
being laid spanning the interior walls to support the next story.
You say I
But it
talk
was
a
the
lot.
outside
I'm gonna talk
which
a
took
lot,
her
kitty.
breath. The
I can
stone
talk,
walls were banded with
talk your
carvings
ear
on a
off.
scale she had never imagined. Just
Yeah.
as Brother Narrative would
Did they
have directed,
really? Did
the
they
carvings
really?
were inspirational
Should I spank
and
your
convincing.
brothers? Should I
Nietzsche
spank
saw
them?
people gazing upon the scenes,
Yeah?
weeping
Okay,
at the
okay.
events recounted in
Yeah.
stone, weeping at the depiction of the miserable creature that was man, and the
Okay,
unattainable
hyper boy.
glory
You want to
that
stay
was
still.
perfection of creation.
Yeah.
Moving visions, there could be no doubt that the order was mankind's only hope of salvation.
Talk,
Just
talk.
as Jagang had said,
You
this
talking
would
a
be a
lot.
palace to stir the people with overpowering
Oh
emotion.
yeah. Talk,
Why are those poles there? She asked Ishak as they marched along the wide cobbled path where people stood and watched the construction, while others knelt and prayed at
Yeah.
various horrific scenes depicted on the walls.
You did talk a lot.
Congress, Ishak removed his red hat as he looked at the site. It was said they took part in the revolt. Ishak's
Really?
gaze passed among the
Really?
rotting corpses hanging at the tops of the poles.
You
Why
keep getting
would the
closer, then we
Congress take
can't
part
see
in the
you.
revolt? They had work. More than that, they were working on the scenes of the glory of the order. They, of all people,
Yeah.
should have known how their only hope of reward in the next world required
Yeah, you tell
suffering in this. I did not
That's
say
my
they took
mommy.
part. I said that it was
That's
said
my
that they
blankie
took
and that's my
part.
mommy.
Nietzsche didn't correct
I'm
him.
not sharing.
All men were corrupt. There wasn't a man who could not be put to death without it being justified. That included Richard. Many of the stones under
Hey
protected
there,
roofs
old
where men
Henry.
had worked now sat
Hey
idle.
there, Henry.
Ramps were constructed along with scaffolding for the masons to work on the palace walls. As they placed their
My
stone,
old
other
soul cat.
slave
You got
labor
an old
worked at
soul.
hauling huge blocks up the ramps to them,
Old Henry.
carried baskets of mortar or dirt and rock, or worked in trenches building the underground
Oh, you finished
cells
your
where the order
pawpaw.
would purge
You
the
finished your
world of the
pawpaw.
worst
You was
sinners,
pawpawing.
and where criminals would confess their crimes. It was a terrible business, but you couldn't have a garden
Comfortable?
unless you got your hands dirty first. The blacksmith shop, up on the
Yes,
side
sir.
of the hill overlooking a colossal undertaking, was the largest she had ever seen. With a project of this scale, it was understandable.
Oh
She stood
yeah.
outside while
Well, we
Ishak
can't see
hurried in
you.
to fetch the blacksmith for her. The sounds of hammers ringing on
You
steel,
big grandma
the
hog.
smells of the
You hogging
forge,
me
the
up.
smoke,
Yeah.
the oils, the acid, the brine, all brought back a flood of memories of her father's shop. For a brief moment, Nietzsche's heart beat faster. She was a girl again. She almost expected to see her father come out and smile at her with that wondrous
That
energy
gets
of
you.
his showing in his blue eyes.
That gets you.
Instead, a brawny man stepped out of the shadows into the daylight. He wore no smile but a menacing glare. At first, she thought he was bald. Then she saw that his full head of hair was simply cropped close to his scalp. Some of her father's men who worked with hot iron did the same. His scowl
Oh,
would
yeah?
have sent any other
Back
woman
up.
back 3 paces. He wiped
Yeah.
his hands on a rag as he walked through the milky sunlight toward her, appraising her eyes
It's
more
night-night time.
carefully than most men, other than Richard. His thick leather apron was speckled with hundreds of tiny burn
Night
marks.
time.
Mrs. Cipher,
Nope, night time.
Ishak backed away, contenting himself to be a shadow.
Yeah.
That's right, I'm Richard's wife.
You're overly tired.
Funny, Richard never really spoke of you. I guess I just assumed he had a wife, but he never said, Richard has been taken into custody. The scowl changed
Yep,
in an
you're
instant
overly
to
tired.
wide-eyed concern. Richard's been arrested? For what? Apparently for the most base of crimes. Cheating people. Cheating people? Richard? They're out of their minds. I'm afraid not. He is guilty. I have the evidence. What evidence? Ishak swooped in close, unable to contain himself any longer. Richard's money! The money he made! Made? Nietzsche's shout drove Ishak back a step. You mean the money he stole? The blacksmith's scowl had returned. Stole? Who do you think he stole this money from? Who are his accusers? Where are his victims? Well, you are one. Me? Yes, I'm afraid you were one of his victims. I'm here to return your money. I can't use stolen money to rescue a criminal from his just punishment. Richard will have to pay the price for his crime. The order will see that he does. The blacksmith tossed his towel aside and planted his fists on his hips. Richard never stole one silver penny from anyone, least of all me. He earned his money. He cheated you. He sold me iron and steel. I need iron and steel to make things for the retreat. Brother Narif comes in here and growls at me to get things made, but he doesn't deliver me the iron from which I must make them. Richard does. Until Richard came along, I nearly got buried in the sky myself, because Ishak here couldn't get me enough iron and steel. I couldn't. The committee only gives me permission to bring what I bring. I would be buried in the sky myself if I bring more than I have permission to bring. Everybody at the transport company watches me. They report me to the workers' group if I speak wrong. So, Nietzsche said, folding her arms. Richard has you over your own brine barrel. He brings you iron at night, and you have no choice but to pay him his price, and he knows it. He makes all this gold by gouging you. That's how he got rich, by overcharging you. That's the worst kind of thievery. The blacksmith frowned at her as if she were daft. Richard sells me iron and steel for a lot less than I can buy it through the regular transport companies, like from Ishak. I charge what the Committee on Fair Pricing tells me. I have no say. That's just crazy, Nietzsche said to the blacksmith, ignoring Ishak. No, it's smart. You see, the foundries produce more than they can sell because they can't get it moved. Their furnaces have to be heated whether they make 1 ton or 10. They need to make enough iron to make the heat worth it, pay their workers, and to keep their furnaces going. If they don't buy enough ore, the mines close, and then the foundry can't get any ore at all. They can't exist if they can't get raw materials. But the order won't let Ishak and those like him move as much as the foundries need moved. The order takes weeks to decide on the simplest request. They consider every imaginable person who they fancy might conceivably be hurt if Ishak were to move the load. The foundries were desperate. They offered to sell their extra to Richard for less money, so they are cheated in Richard's scheme too. No, because Richard takes it, they sell more, so it costs them less to make. They make more money than they would have otherwise. Richard sells it to me for less than I have to pay from the regular transport companies, because he buys it for less. Nietzsche threw her hands up in disgust. And to top it off, he is putting working men out of jobs, making his profit off the backs of the
Guys gotta
needy
stay.
and the
No.
workers. What?
That was not funny.
I can't get enough
That
people
was
to
not
work.
funny.
And I can't get enough permits to haul the goods
Alright.
people need.
Only
Richard puts
two.
no one out of work. He helps create more business for everybody. The foundries he hauls for have each hired more men since they are able to sell through Richard. That's right, the blacksmith said. But you just don't see it, Nietzsche insisted, as she raked back her hair. He's pulled the wool over your eyes. He's cheating you, milking you dry. You're getting poor because Richard... Don't you get it, Mrs. Cyber? Richard has made half a dozen foundries working. They are working now only because of Richard. He moves their goods when they need them moved, not when they can finally get some asinine permit with seals all over it. Richard has by himself enabled a whole string of charcoal makers to earn a living supplying those foundries, along with a number of miners and any number of other people. And me? Richard has made me more money than I ever thought I'd make. Richard has made us all rich by doing something that is desperately needed and doing it better than others can do it. He has kept us all working. Not the order and the committees or groups. Richard. I've been able to keep men on because of Richard. He never says it can't be done. He figures a way to do it. In the process, he has earned the trust of every man he deals with. His word is as good as that gold. Why, even Brother Narek told Richard to do what he do to get me the iron I needed. Richard told me
Yeah.
house wouldn't be
I want some ice cream.
Richard keeping everyone going is what he gets for us. When we need it.
I want some ice cream.
Not torture punishment. He has helped you.
Yeah, you can't have no ice cream.
Those piers hanging out there. They don't get. If Richard hadn't found me the iron to make the racing time. Those cars.
I want ice cream.
Down there would not be done if he had found me the steel I needed to make tools to carve. Down there are all those in my wheels turning.
I like my ice cream.
Richard has done more to raise that palace up out of the ground than any other single man. Besides that,
My ice cream is my treat at night after dinner.
she remembered that Richard had met Brother Narek. How can someone make so much money, help the order, and half the people he deals with still trust him?
Trying to do this one-handed. It hasn't been opened yet. There we go. I did it. Ooh, look at that ice cream.
So they can more easily snatch what they did not earn.
I'm gonna be sticking my germs in here. That's it. That's it. No. Okay, I need 2 hands for this shit. Yep, I need 2 hands to get my ice cream out. No, god damn it. Son of a bitch. Someone fell on the fucking floor. So I got like a... No, I don't want to retouch this thing with the lighting. Oh, I guess I gotta turn it around. Yeah. This fucking chunk fell on the floor. Why you wanna come in? Huh? You done hanging with the goose? Hi, there's Simone. Hi, there's Simone. There's other kitties. They don't let me touch them. They don't come inside. Are you licking my ice cream? I ought to kick your ass, girl.
I'm not doing it for you, Mrs. Cypher. I'm helping a friend I value.
Get out of there. Here, you want a piece of ice cream? There you go.
I am Mr. Himself, he growled as he started away.
There, give her your own piece of ice cream.
He had told Nietzsche and his ship that he wanted to hold something in reserve so they could pump the bellows if they needed more heat. The blacksmith towered over the man behind the table. Several officers put their noses to their work. The guards around the room all watched. Richard Cypher.
Alrighty.
We're here to pay the fine. Protector Buxton.
Yeah, you didn't even eat it all. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, you didn't want it. He just wanted to be nosy. Hey, the other cats ate up the ice cream. That was a big feast. Okay, chocolate cereal. Gotta have that. Meat. No, they still got a chunk left. He don't need help on potties.
I would not wish to inconvenience Brother Narek. The blacksmith smiled. I thought. However, Brother Narek would not want me to overlook my duty to the people. Of course not, Ishak put in. He swiped his red hat off his head when the dark eyes turned his way. Such was not implied, of course. We are trusting in you to do your duty. Who are you? The protector asked Nietzsche. I am